Hello, this is Amira. I am here with the mid-year tarot tag. It feels a little late for this, but I do want to join in, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Starting with favorite deck. This is my beloved Starseeker Tarot. I've had this deck since 2021, and it is a beautiful, beautiful deck, and it's very gentle and served me well since I got it. It's been very comforting and enjoyable to use. I used it for daily draws, for small spreads, and I used it a lot, especially in the first part of the year, because it's been a rough year and I've needed tarot. So anyway, this is the Starseeker Tarot, my favorite deck. A new deck is the Heroine Tarot. It's focused around fashion. It's very pretty. It's definitely a women-centered deck. This is my choice for a new deck. Most anticipated release. I ordered a deck on Kickstarter, and it's the Joker deck. And that is expected to come out next month. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's about the Joker in many incarnations, and I'm just excited to finally have it in my hands. Biggest disappointment. I feel like I have to do some disclaimers. The art is very beautiful, but I do have some things about this that have disappointed me. So this is the Oracle of the Mermaids. And first of all, the artwork feels so muted. Like when you compare, hold on, I need to talk about a few of these cards. So when you compare like the image on the cover to the image in the deck, like the colors are just so muted. Which in a way makes sense because they're mermaids and they're underwater, but I still wish they'd gone with the more vibrant for the actual cards. Now going on to my experience with the deck. So the first card I drew was Experiment. And in the guidebook, so the mermaids sing, and in the first part is a message that's like directed toward you, like we are concerned, we are seeing the errors of pride, hubris, arrogance repeating themselves in this time. We are concerned that the terrible experiments that occurred in Atlantis, where Lemurians were modified against their will, are being repeated. We are concerned. We see you taking the cells of one form and attaching them to another. And I don't know, I found this very off-putting as like the first card that I drew. It continues on, and then it reads, our tears fall unnoticed into an ocean, and you continue, but not you who receives this card. You have spoken up, and we know you will, just by self-love, kindness to animals and sea creatures, and activism, bring about change through your compassionate actions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just found this a difficult message to deal with. Like, I don't believe in animal testing, and it kind of made me defensive, and that's not really useful in an oracle deck when the cards make you defensive. And then the next day, I got Fertility. I'm not trying to get pregnant. I don't think this card needs to just be about pregnancy. But again, with the guidebook, it talks about there may be issues with fertility. You may be wishing to bring forth a child, conceive a baby, and there may have been issues for some time with your ability to do so. You may need to create a healing diet and series of exercises to support and nurture your own physical fertility and adapt and change. Inquire about natural alternatives to create hormonal balance and receptivity. Okay, and it continues on. And I just thought to myself, if I was dealing with fertility issues, reading that would not be helpful. Again, like, it would just make me defensive, because I have friends who have struggled with infertility issues, and they do everything that they can think of to become pregnant. They don't need to be told that try eating better or or look into natural alternatives. Like, they already are doing that. And don't get me wrong, the artwork is beautiful, and I'm sure that Lucy Cavendish is great, but I just had a difficult time with my first two draws, and I have set this aside for now. I will probably come back to it just because the artwork is so beautiful, or maybe I might just use it as an art deck and completely disregard anything beneath it, or any of the text, which is a shame. So that was my disappointment. I'm not trying to be negative about this deck at all. I just want to answer the question and explain my answer, and hopefully you understand. Okay, the biggest surprise. Okay, so I got Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. I got this deck out, and I did a walkthrough. I love the images. Like, I love the way that the deck feels in my hands. It feels amazing. And then I did a deck interview. And one of the questions was, describe yourself. So it was asking the deck to describe itself. And the card that it gave me was the Seven of Swords, which surprised the hell out of me, I have to say. My first reaction was, whoa, okay. But as I sat with it, I thought, okay, this deck may not reveal all of its secrets right away. And I don't know, I kind of like that. And I'm not put off by that at all. I did ask on a Facebook group about it, I have to admit, and was like, how would you interpret this? Because I went the route of, that this deck might be a bit secretive. But other people gave, like, really interesting answers, like, this deck is going to help you with, this will help you see through, like, of other subterfuge of others. Someone else was like, I would not trust this deck, and that's fair, like, but I'm not put off working with this deck. This is the deck I'm working with now, and I'm excited. So, but that definitely was a surprise. So that is the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. The next prompt is a deck crush. And oh my gosh, I love this deck. It's gorgeous. This is the Wandering Spirit Tarot. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it so much. Look at this card. Look at this death card. This deck features these two characters. Sometimes it's just one of them on this card, but most of the time it's both. I just love it. I took it to a family gathering, and ended up doing readings for like 5 people while I was there, and I think 2 or 3 of them picked this deck. And it's easy to see why. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I know, I mean, this is already like turning into a new favorite. I love it so much. It's got a beautiful rose petal finish. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. So this is my deck crush. And it is the Wandering Spirits Tarot. Deck that made me cry. It didn't make me cry, but it really touched me emotionally when I needed it. So I was talking about that I went on a trip with my family, and on that trip I had to leave my 2 dogs behind. Well, one of them is an elderly dog who is, he just relies on me so much, and so I was concerned. I had concerns. I had people coming and checking in on the dogs and feeding them, making sure they were, you know, they got a little cuddling in, and but I was concerned. And so the first night I was there, I was like, I need help. I need help. So I did a 3-card reading, and I'm not going to go into all the details, but 3rd card was the 8 of Cups, and I just so clearly read it as a message that it's okay to leave your worries behind. Like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. They're going to be okay, and you can stop worrying about them and just, you know, relax and enjoy your time. So I did, and this deck was just there for me when I really needed it. And so I'm so grateful. So this is the deck that made me cry, although I didn't literally cry, but it's just a beautiful, it gave me a beautiful emotional message when I really needed it. Deck that made me happy. This is my Magical Dogs Tarot, and I just love dogs. I've had this one for a few years, but I lost the guidebook. I reached out to the publisher and said, hey, I've lost my guidebook. Can I get it? You know, because I really wanted it, because this deck renames several of the major arcana. It renames the suits, although they're fairly self-evident because they, you know, take a more elemental approach. And I'd be happy to buy it. Like, I just want to get the book alone. Like, I don't need anything else. Explained that I had misplaced my other copy, and you know, I really wanted to work with the deck, and they were like, yeah, we have a copy here, you know, give me your address. So they sent me the copy for free, and that just was such a great treat for me. And like I said, this year has been kind of hard, and so any kindness like that is just is something that I don't take for granted, and I appreciate so much. So, you know, thank you, Llewellyn, and for your kindness there, and for publishing this great deck, because it makes me happy. And I have been reading the book, and it's very enjoyable, and it does add a lot to the meaning of these cards. Like, that is a deck that made me happy. And my most beautiful deck that I've gotten this year is the Kei Tarot Love. The Page of Wands is stuck in there, So this is just gorgeous. I found this on Etsy. I worked with it for several weeks, and it's just so pretty. And every time I drew, you know, I would draw my daily card. I loved it. It's a gem of a deck, and if the art appeals to you or if the colors appeal to you, I absolutely encourage you to get it because it is just beautiful. The Kei Tarot Love is my most beautiful deck purchased this year. Thank you for joining me for the mid-year tarot tag. I'll be back again soon with another video. Until then, take care.